I have braces and I have Invisalign. So if you see me kind of get a little weird, it's because I bit my tongue, like I just did a second ago. I gotta slow down. Welcome everyone. My name is TV from Kiss Passion, and today we have DJ Hondo,
Oop, oop.
also known as Eddy to the regular world. I always forget your full name. What's your full name, brother?
The full name is Eddy Alejandro Velasquez.
There it is, Eddy. I wrote that down, and I'm like, damn it, I'll just ask you. Eddy Alejandro Velasquez is in the house, and we're gonna have some real conversations about what it's like to build a community, to put on events and build a community, and a lot of the sticky subjects around that, as well as the good stuff, of course. But before we get into any of that, if you're on the call, feel free to drop a few comments in here. Let us know where you're coming from, who you are. We'd love to answer some questions if you stick around at the end. But drop them in the comments and we'll get to them later. In the
Grab a
meantime,
beer.
yes. Eddy, do us a favor and go ahead, take that mask off and reveal to the world your true identity.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hold on, let me fix
Ooh.
my hair. Hello, world. The applause. All right.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
All right. Eddy, tell us, what's your story? Why the hell do you put so much work into this thing? Where are you coming from? And like, what's your backstory for those that don't know?
My backstory. Well, first off, I'm originally from Detroit. I got involved in the dance scene when I was able to actually go to the bars and stuff. Um,
That was
I
fast.
was like, I seen how the dance scene worked, and I'll be honest, it was because of a girl I got involved in dance.
Let's
But
let's be honest. Everyone
I
gets into it because of.
slowly just started to enjoy just the passion behind dancing and the social interactions, and then I slowly got involved into like organizing small events within Detroit. We did a couple of BKZ events, and then I moved down to Dallas and kind of just took the back seat of things. In Detroit, I was in more of a influential role, and it was nice coming into Dallas and just being able to kind of sit back and allow others to kind of lead the way. So yeah, but I really always had a passion for just organizing events and bringing people together to share a common passion that we all have, and just have a good time, have a good party. I always like throwing a good party.
Fascinating. I remember seeing you in the community. I actually took a couple of your classes. I think at the one of the UrbanKiz festivals. You probably don't
Yes.
remember me. I was in the back hiding. But I did. I would see what you would do, and that you were doing consistently putting on events, and was impressed. Because I watch a lot. I see what people do, and I did appreciate your approach and what you were doing in Detroit. So when you moved here, it was actually I was excited because that means we had somebody else that could possibly contribute. Because one of the things about Dallas is that it's pulling in a lot of people.
Yes, it
Yourself,
is.
you're
We're
one.
recruiting.
Yeah, we're big on recruitment here, and it's because the quality of the scene and the size of the city, I imagine, is pretty good. It's pretty dope.
Yeah,
So
for
when
sure.
you came, I was really really excited. Um, quick story: you were coming, you were coming to the events, and I felt like you didn't like me. Since I was
Yeah.
I was
There was
actually
it was kind of weird. It was a little weird. Like we would see each other, we'd be like, "Hey," and walk by, blah,
yeah.
blah,
I'm like, why wouldn't he talk to me? And and it was a little awkward. It was a little like, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I usually think it's me before I assume the negative. That's just the way I operate. Um,
right.
but I try to always make sure to not take it negative. I'm like, one thing I've learned about adults, I don't care who they are, is that we're all a little awkward. And when we're especially in a place that we don't know the people, we will sink to some comfortable place and not speak as comfortably. So
Yeah.
Cool thing though is that eventually we were asked to meet to get together with our mutual friend, Mr. Christopher Sam, the bald headed
Shout out
African.
to Chris.
Shout out to
We
Chris.
miss you, bro.
We really do. He's insisted. He said, "You got to meet Eddy. You got to. You two are gonna are gonna really get along, and you're gonna hit it off." I'm like, "I'm down. I just don't know if he likes me." Um, so you did. We sat down. We had a drink. I think the first time was just me and you, and we hit it off, of course, because now like
Yeah,
all
for
barriers
sure.
are off, and it was a fantastic meeting. And that is when we first kind of came up with the idea of what is now the Southside Productions. You remember
Hmm.
that?
That what
What was
It's
the original
crazy what
idea
can
behind
happen
that?
within a year. So, like the idea behind that was a lot of events that are happening in Dallas are happening more on the north end of Dallas. And both myself and TV, and now Chris, we all live in South Dallas.
Oak Cliff.
So we
Yeah.
want to really focus on trying to bring events down this way. It can be challenging at times, but that was the main logic behind things. So yeah, that's kind of where Southside Productions kind of came into play.
Yes, sir. The South Side has something to say. Um, then you got started. My my mindset when we got together, like, look, I already got a thing. I got a life. I got a really busy life. I got a girlfriend. I got kids. I got all this, and I'm doing the Monday night thing. I'm down to do something if we're able to do it on the low key and we bring things down south. My level of involvement will be limited, but you have my support.
So much
Then
for low key.
yes, then you then you went and took off, and you got 3 or 4 events scheduled in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, oh shit, uh, I can't support, I can't help, because that's way too much. And I feel terrible because I cannot quote unquote support. I'm part of the fucking team, right?
Right.
And
No,
we
I
have
remember those conversations. Those conversations were like, "Oh man, I'm excited about this. I'm gonna ask Stevie for his help. I got him." And it was like, hit a brick wall. And he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna take the back seat on this one." I was like,
I
"Well,"
literally had to like I had to tap out because
I
you
was
were
like,
doing so
"But
much. You
yeah,
were, and that's one of the things that's amazing about you is that you're doing so much and you're like, let's go. And I love that. It's the way to do it and figure it out as you go along. So I totally get it. I just couldn't sign on for that, and I had to jump off the ship, right?
yeah."
I
No, and
told
it's completely understandable, and I totally respected that.
yeah, because I think we had an.
I
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have sometimes it can be hard for people to like say no to things, and I totally respect when somebody is able to tell me, be like, no, I just can't do it. Cool, no problem. I'd rather get the no than have you go along with something that you really don't want to do.
And then drag your feet.
Right,
And
exactly.
and that's one of the things I told you early on is, and I think I made it clear. Like, I'm not afraid to tell you no. If I can, I'll do it, and you got my support. If I agree,
For sure.
I'm all on. All on board, and you're gonna get whatever I said I was gonna commit to, whatever I told you I was gonna give you. But I have very little reservation around saying no. I'm too old. I don't have enough energy. I got to manage my energy. Um, so yeah, I had to jump off for that reason. And despite that, you really didn't need me. Like, well, you do, but I can bring something to the table. But you have a vision, and you've been driven, and that's where we can go into next. What type of events are you doing now?
Currently, we have a local monthly social at Victoria's, the third Sunday of the month. It is a Kiz Zook event. But I also support other events. So there's Essence of Dance on the fourth Saturday of the month. That is hosted by Ale and Arturo. They do like a Kizook event. Then you have Evelyn and Josue. They have an event. I forget the location, but they also do an event the fourth Friday of the month. So I do my best to try to spread myself within the community when it comes to doing events. Then I also try to do training things like since I've gotten into DJ, something that helps me grow is teaching others what it is that I know. Not
I love that.
saying what I know is always right, but
No,
I'm just have no
it's dope.
problem showing people that are interested in learning. So people like Gilbert, shout out to Gilbert. He's been blossoming like
Bruh.
crazy in the scene, both as an instructor and with Kelly, and then also as a DJ now. Like he's involved. Like he wants to be at every event,
Yeah, he's definitely,
skyrocketing.
yeah,
And
his
then of
growth has been through
course,
the roof. Yeah.
yeah, then of course we have the very large event, which was a huge success last year, Love and Dance.
Well, should we call it's a
Um,
festival though? It's not just an event.
It's a,
Let's
I've
call it a
never,
festival.
yeah,
You have
like
people
I've
from all over
never
the
really
place.
labeled it as a festival, but it escalated pretty big, and but yeah, it reached like a festival kind of.
It's not. What are you saying? It is a festival.
I'm
Is it?
humble, bro. I'm trying to be humble about it. Like I'm
No,
very
call it like.
like.
All right, I'm in marketing. I'm gonna tell you right now. Label it a damn festival. No,
It's a festival, okay? It's a
it's a
festival.
small
Love and Dance
festival.
is a festival.
Yes, like bro, it's kind of like a festival. Nah, it's a festival. You brought in people from all over the world, all over the country. You brought in a bunch of people to a joint. Like it's not an event. An event is like a little weekender maybe, or your other little monthly things. Those are events. This is a damn festival. Sorry, I gotta. It was funny to me because you keep her like
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I
you're still
appreciate that
declining it.
total compliment.
I thought by now it was understood, dude. Anyways, here's a big question. Congratulations on those because I only do one event and I do it once a month, and I just had it a couple days ago. I'm still recovering from it, and it was just a few hours. It's not
Mhm.
nowhere near the level of effort that a festival would take, and then on top of that, the regular other events that you do. So kudos to you, because I like to think that I do a good job at that, but I feel wasted afterwards. Like yesterday, it took me. I was like 6 or 7 o'clock. I started to feel kind of like I was back on my feet. So you're doing a fantastic job. I appreciate what
Thank
you
you.
do, um, and the scene appreciates it. We see a lot of growth. So let's get into that. Why? Why are you so motivated to do this?
Um, because I love two dances that are both growing still. One being UrbanKiz, Kizomba, everything that falls under that umbrella, and then the other is Zouk, which is even new for me. But I love these two styles very much, and I want to be able to share and contribute as much as I can to make sure that both scenes succeed and grow. And then I also, once again, I just love seeing people that share a common passion as I have and just see everybody come together and just have a good time. I think we get caught up in the rat race of
Mm,
life,
hmm.
and to just have that outlet where we come together, we have a good time, and there's this brief moment where nothing else seems to matter.
Yeah,
We just get lost in the social, and I really enjoy that feeling. And if I can be a part of that process of contributing a space for people to dance and have a good time and come from all over the world, great.
yeah, yeah. You do a great job, man. Um, It's funny though, and then that entire little that answer to the question, I didn't hear you say that you do it for the money.
No.
Are you are and we all say that, but would you say that anything that you're doing right now is profitable?
I would say if there is any money to be made, it is very little. And normally, that money that is made, I'm usually the last to get paid.
Yeah,
So I do my
that's
best
right.
at,
That's right.
I do my best at giving to all those that are helping me along the way, whether that is with photography, whether that's teaching, whether that's DJing. Sometimes I would love to pay everybody their top rate great. But sometimes, especially locally with smaller events, I might be able to just shoot you a few dollars for a lunch and be like, lunch is on me today.
Right.
But I want to always do what I can to give back to others that are supporting me and supporting the scene. But as far as like, is there a lot of money to be made? Absolutely not.
So it's been my experience that it's almost impossible to be profitable and make money on dance. Um, and everything that you're doing and I'm doing, uh, there's very little money to be made. And your approach, I love that, by the way. And that's one of the things I did admire, that you made sure that people were being compensated at your festival. You didn't ask anybody to work for free. You made sure that they were paid something. And I heard throughout the event that you were making sure that that was the case, because it's pretty common, especially for festivals, that people, excuse me, are given free passes or whatever, and then they had to they're asked to work for free, to teach for free, and you didn't take that approach. So thank you for that. But it's hard to make money in dance just purely through teaching dance or hosting events. I throw a free event. I make little to no money, and I invest several $100s a month to make sure that people come out. I truly, like you, do it for the love. I love my story on that is a lot of my core friends are from the community. My girlfriend came from the community. I've grown in my own skin because of the community, because of this dance, because of the culture. So I don't know why, but I feel compelled to help build a community and help others make those connections. And there's not enough money in it. Now, when I throw the bigger events where I actually charge something, I would make sure people got paid. I paid BJ's. I love BJ. I actually paid him once, and he's like, "No, don't send it to me." And I sent it to him anyways. He sent it back. I'm like, "This mother." um, because at those events, I am charging someone, and I want to make sure they're being compensated, because the equipment that they buy, the time that they invest, the drive time, like, I want to make sure they get compensated. Having said all that, the truth is, we're all volunteers, right?
Sure.
Um, and we're all learning as we go along, especially at these free events. Who's staffing them, right? Who's
Right.
working? Who are you getting to work your events or to help you out? Like, who are those individuals?
Most of these individuals are people that have strong passions themselves and are students in the art of teaching, in the art of DJing, photography, all these other avenues. They're the socials that I throw are sometimes a platform for people to grow their passions. Um, but very rarely do I hire like a high end DJ or anything. These are mostly coming from our peers,
Yeah,
people within the community. Unless it's a bigger event like Love and Dance.
right.
A lot of the local things are just people within the community that are wanting to volunteer and wanting to grow themselves. So that can be scary in itself because I remember being that person also, just coming into the scene and as a teacher or as even a DJ. I've only been DJing a year. I still get the nerves and the jitters being behind the controller and wondering if the music I'm playing, if people in the crowd are going to like it.
Right.
It's a scary feeling putting yourself out there. So, but we have a lot of strong key players. People like Gilbert, Derek, Kalen. We have a really strong, and I'm sorry about missing some people, but yeah, we have a really
There's too
strong
many.
community. Yeah, we're stacked,
Yes.
but we have a lot of strong amount of people here in Dallas that we can lean on and for support, and they're more than willing to help out.
Yep. Um, that was when I first started throwing my event. I'm like, I'm a hostess so people can dance. It was obvious that if we host this event, we now have somewhere where we can all dance and improve. We as dancers need to dance to improve. There's no way around it. And then it started to grow. DJs, people will approach me about DJing because I was doing it at first, and I wasn't very good, still not very good. But BJ was the first person to do that. Who's our crown jewel of the DJs? Like he is the ceiling as far as it relates to people wanting a DJ. They see BJ and I'm getting tongue tied between BJ and DJ. Um, but to your point, it became apparent that these events could actually serve as a platform for people to learn. So a little by little, I'm like, okay, let's rock. Somebody asked if they could start teaching. I'm like, of course, let's do a free class, right? Um, and then that allowed them the platform to start learning how to teach, how to manage a class. Now, because we're all beginners and because we're all volunteers, we're not going to be very good when we start out. But my philosophy on that is it's a free event, man. If you don't like it, you can go suck a lemon, go kick rocks. So,
Need to put
be,
that on a t-shirt.
yeah, right. Go suck it. Like, and people that really understand the fact that this is truly a gift, that this entire thing is many other places do not have this. So we have to learn somewhere, and because of that, though, BJ has become a rock star. We have Babyface that came out of here. We have Gilbert. You started becoming consistent and growing through Monday Night Kizomba as well.
Yes,
That was one of
correct.
your initial kickoffs. You were DJing before, so I don't want to dismiss that. Our teachers, uh, BJ, Kaylin, Derek, they were getting the reps in there, but they weren't very good when they started, and they only improved over time. So I love that. I love that I can be able to give people that opportunity, and then now to see them everywhere taking off, like
Hmm.
DJing overseas or instructing or like that gives me a great deal of joy. But the fact remains that they have to start somewhere, and we have a new batch of talent, right? That's
Yep.
coming through. Gilbert, although Gilbert, bro, like his growth, I don't know what he does.
He's skyrocketing right now. That
Like
man
it's
is
it, it
hot.
is not a normal, it is not a normal improvement rate. Most people improve like he's like three times in, like yesterday, right, or Monday. But anyways, he's learning. He has bigger equipment now. Second time he DJ'd, he got confused with chords. Now he got a bigger gear, bigger box. Yes, he's putting in that work,
Yeah,
and he has all the gear figured out. So
yeah, for sure.
we're learning, and I guess and I think actually I'll let you say this. What would you ask the community to understand about that as it relates to the volunteers, to the instructors, to the teachers?
To have a little bit of room for like grace and understanding. There are often times, especially when we have combined socials
Mm,
with like Kiz and Zoot, where we are doing our best to like please everybody on both sides. But it's challenging. It's very challenging. Um, we have these conversations with our DJs prior to make sure that we try to play music that fits both sides. But it's hard. We get people. I've gotten people that have shared hundreds of songs with me, and that's great. I appreciate it. It's difficult to not just like we don't as DJs just plug in music and push play. We have to upload the music, we have to sort it out, we have to queue it up. There's a whole process. So when you give me 500 songs, it will take me a very long
hours,
time to go
hours.
and sort those.
It,
um, so yeah, just having a little bit of grace and not being so critical of people that are doing this as something that they're trying to grow at, it would be very helpful for sure.
yeah, I think we all need to remember that UrbanKiz, Kizomba, Brazilian Zouk, we are the babies on the block. Um, somebody somebody made a comment on my page and they said, "Hey, do you have any more classes?" And I'm adding tone. Who knows what their tone was? I'm making this up. So it's a story I'm making up. But they said, "Hey, Why don't y'all have more classes? Salsa and bachata have classes throughout the week. Y'all need to have more classes. And I'm like, yeah, that would be nice. That would be really nice. However, what you don't understand is that salsa and bachata got, I don't know, bachata maybe 20 years, salsa has 50, 60, 70 years head start on us. We might have 10 years in, but I'd say like really getting going and gaining traction, it might be let's just say 5 years that we've started to gain traction. Brazilian Zouk, we're basically riding on the same path because I think when I first started dancing Kizomba, Brazilian Zouk started to become a thing as well. So we're babies. That's why the growing the community is so difficult because we're building something literally from scratch, like one brick at a time. We're building this beautiful home, this beautiful
Facts.
community, and it's gonna take time. So we have one event. We have we don't have these established instructors that can travel like at any given place, and they're just not there, right? So they're learning on our at our events, and it's actually beautiful because for me, what I tell people when we I get a chance to talk to them is, you're on the ground floor. Now, sometimes it may be a little frustrating because there's not enough events, there's not enough instructors teaching, but you're on the ground floor. You will remember being here in 10 or 20 years and say, I was there when it started. I was one of the first people. So have that patience with the community, with the people that are committed. Because for DJ specifically, the money, the investment that it takes to like that thing you got in front of you, how much was that? Like, let's just say a few
Sixteen
$100.
hundred dollars.
16. Okay.
$1,600.
That's a beast. Why would anybody in their right mind invest $1,600 into a DJ thingamabopper if they're not going to make money from it? Because he loves it, right? And Gilbert just did something crazy like that too. He has a big ass set now, whatever the controller
He's
set.
got the same one that he. I think he's
Oh
actually
God.
got the newer
Yeah, he
model.
walked in the other day all late. Man, struggling, poor guy.
I know. I was shocked too. I was like, man, my man is in it. Like
Yeah,
he's
he's
committed.
he's he's all in. And he's still a student, but he's like, I'm in. And he's willing to put those reps in and become better and be embarrassed. Like he asked to get thrown up there right away.
Yeah.
And that is the place to learn. It's intimidating. You know, people are judging you.
Yeah, for sure.
But as a community, we need to recognize that, yo, he's getting started. He's putting in the time. He's putting in the effort. Let's truly support him and show love for him.
Yep.
It's we need to remember that because we are a young community. You're seeing. I love you. I didn't get to see you personally, but Derek, Kaylin, Muma, like I actually remember when their first classes and when they weren't very good. Now they're all like 10 times better than me because I've watched them
Yep.
grow. It's a beautiful thing to witness, and I'm glad to have been a part of it. Um, since we're talking about DJs, so let's transition a little bit. Um, well, I'll say this. Let me put it this way. As promoters, we have to see the big picture. We all want to throw a dope ass party and have the prettiest lights and whatnot, but we have to take on a lot of risk. You and I, any event organizer, risk being
Right.
money, investing money, whether it be I put a lot of money into advertising and promotion, but whether it be equipment, risk of somebody getting hurt, all types of risk, right? We take on this risk, and as such, because we have to operate as business owners, I think people don't realize that um, we have to look out for things where there is risk. Like literally, people can get hurt. People can get things can get damaged. And you were telling me a story about an incident you had where people
Yeah.
were stepping behind the DJ table. So please tell me that story again.
So yeah, we had an event at Victoria's, and people were just hanging out behind the DJ booth area, not being really mindful of things, and we had an accident. And somebody stepped over a cord and unplugged the whole entire system. And the situation with that is you're not just killing the audio for the party.
Mm-hmm.
You could possibly like damage all the equipment by short circuiting it because you unplug something abruptly like that, or somebody unplugs something and tries to quickly plug it back in, now you're blasting the equipment. Now, when that happens, we gotta like basically do a soft reset of everything.
Make sure nothing
So
got
we
fried.
can't. It's not like turning on a switch and flipping it back on.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I understand like people have friends and stuff in the community that are DJs, and you want to shoot the shit with them. You know, you want to talk to them. One, it's when somebody's DJing, they're focused, they're concentrating, they're trying to keep energy. But on the other
Oh
side of
yeah.
that, when you come behind the DJ booth with like drinks and stuff, we're looking like, oh my god, one small drop spilled on electrical equipment, dead.
Yeah.
So it's just like being mindful of that. It helps out a lot.
I
So
I tend to be a jerk when it comes to stuff like this. I'll call it.
understandable.
I have to be. Because I want to be everybody's friend, but I come from management. I used to be in the grocery business for 18 years, and I managed. And I had to always be looking out for potential risky opportunities, a slip and fall, wires exposed, anything. So I'm always looking out for that. And for me, one of the crazy things about the dance community is that I think you've seen this meme. Is like what gives people the feeling of superiority, and it's like this
Mhm.
graph and like there's various things, and the last one says knowing the DJ. For whatever reason, we feel cooler because we know the DJ, and it's cool, yeah, like knowing the DJ, knowing the dancers, but we have to keep in mind, like, ouch, that hurt. We have to realize that when you go up there, it is a risk, and especially once one person goes up, then it gives permission, other people permission to get up there, because like I know him too. I want to say hi. I want to say what's up. I want to take a selfie, whatever. At this new place, it's especially risky where I'm at. There's this steep staircase, and as soon as I got there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be an issue. So I put a sign up that says no, nobody but staff up at the DJ stage, because one, obviously the DJ, and you said actually there's probably three things to this that I wanted to touch on. One, um, the DJs are focusing. You don't realize how much focus it takes to actually DJ and stay in the groove until you DJ. There's so much work that goes in prepping, in managing energy, making sure you're taking care of people, but you have to make decisions. So one, you're distracting your DJ. Your friend is not going to really appreciate it. Let them work, right? Two, you have a drink or you have something, you have all types of wires back there.
Mhm.
Accidents happen. Nobody intends to have bad things happen. Like your whoever the heck this happened to, I'm sure they didn't mean to, but that's what
Right.
accidents. That's what they are by definition. Nobody intended for them to happen. So accidents could happen. They could trip on something. They could fall. They could spill the drink. Ah, and three for me at this stage, like somebody will eventually bust their ass if they keep doing that. The numbers are not in my favor. So I put a sign, and now I have to be that asshole because they just insist on stepping on that stage. Guys, back off. Enjoy the dance. Get down here. Talk to them when they get off because they're gonna get off. Share the love. Take those selfies, but please respect that space because if someone gets hurt, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a face plant.
Yeah. And don't, yeah, and that's like another thing. Don't take things personal when you're at
Mm,
these events and either like myself or TV. Like I've been told that I can be a little bit cold or distant, um, because I'm like that. I would love to give everybody as much attention as I could,
great point.
but
Yep.
when I'm organizing an event or I'm just DJing or whatever I'm doing, there's a million different things that are going on in my head. I'm trying to look over the equipment. I'm trying to make sure everybody's having a good time. I'm making sure my DJs are all set up properly. I'm trying to get content. There's a lot of million and one different things that are happening, and things like dancing with people. I would love to dance with everybody at events that I throw, but sometimes I have to tell people no. And it's like, don't take it personally.
Please. Please
I
don't.
love dancing with you, but at this present moment, I can't promise everybody that I'm going to be able to dance with them, kind of deal.
Yeah. Especially when you're running the event, you literally have to be conscious of so many things. I am on the lookout for everything. And one of the big ones, and I'll share this, is making sure people are that they're in a safe space. That if I see anyone acting creepy, acting
Yeah,
weird, um, are is anybody
absolutely.
crossing that border, that line, and disrespecting one of my participants, usually a lady, by some overly aggressive male. I am hyper focused on that. So I because it's very important to me. I want to make sure that it's a safe space. So I'm scanning. I'm all over the place. So to your point, it
You
becomes
actually have
hard.
a policy.
I have a policy in place. You can shoot your shot, but if you get declined or if they're not interested, walk away. Um,
Hmm.
so I have that in place because I am scared to death of something happening to anyone. I literally would. I don't know what would happen if something would happen to one of my participants, one of my ladies. Because let's admit it, most of them, the creepers are dudes. So I
Hmm.
have those in place, and then in the process, I also have to be watching because they're out there. We can see them when they're being weird, and this happened a few weeks ago. I was able to pinpoint it. Me and Carla, my girlfriend, immediately developed a little plan. I extracted her. I reported it. I got to my my the owner, the manager of the space. I talked to the bouncer, but that's because I'm consistently watching. Even though I was dancing with my lady, I was still watching because it's like this is my focus: your safety,
Yeah.
your the safety of others, the mood. Or is everybody having fun? What's happening? So we're going to be distracted, and we may at times come off as cold. Please don't take it personally. We love
Hmm.
you. That's why we invited you. That's why we got you here. So, all right.
Yep,
Um,
for sure.
any other thoughts on that?
Um, no, but if it comes up, we'll
Oh, okay, okay.
revisit.
Um, so let's talk about, I guess, support and what it looks like to you, because you have an approach around supporting the community that's different from
Hmm.
mine. And I, once again, tend to be more of an asshole, perceived, I'm sure. But you have a version of what support looks like, and you're very committed to it, which I respect. When it comes to supporting what other people are doing, what's your approach?
My approach is I try to be as active as I can in other people's events. Sometimes that means me just showing up for an hour, um, to just be there and just be present. Sometimes I might not even dance. Other times I might run through a bunch of follows and get everybody that I can to dance, and then I'm bouncing and I'm out. Um, what people don't sometimes understand is I'm not just an event organizer or event planner. Or I'm
You mean
not
you
just
don't
an
do this for a
instructor
career?
or right. I also have like a job and stuff like. Well, I mean, I have another job. I don't want to insult anybody, but I have another job where I have to wake up really early. I'm
That's
up
right.
every day at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you
My
usually
day
bounce
starts
early.
off at right, and it's TV too, because like I'll shoot him a message
Yeah,
in the early morning thinking he ain't gonna respond till like 8 o'clock, and he's like right there with me. I'm
yeah.
like, wow.
I'm up. I have to be. Um,
But,
yeah.
so when I go to support other events and stuff like that, I do my best to be present, and sometimes I can even feel myself fading in the mid conversation with somebody, and I just be like,
Time
I'm
to go.
out. I'm just not present anymore. And it's not to be insulting or be mean. It's just physically I'm taxed,
Hmm.
and I at that point I'm just tapping out.
Um, yeah, because you put a lot of work into it. I remember when you first started coming to our events, you would leave like at 10, 9:30 or
Hmm.
10. Like, I got to go to work. I'm like, oh, that's right. And it's because you have a job that you have to be in early for. So I respect that. The fact you came, my, it was fantastic. I always appreciate it. My approach to all of that is I actually posted a video a few years ago, is that I asked people not to support kids' passion. Like, don't support. That was the blatant headline, like, get in your face. Don't support. Um, and what I mean by that is Don't support for the sake of like, oh, I got to show up and support. Show up because you feel compelled, because my marketing persuaded you to believe that there was going to be a good time to be had, and show up. I went as far as to say, like, you'll never get a text from me or a message saying, hey, where were you? Why didn't you come support? Because I didn't want to put people in that position, because we all have lives. We all have different
Right.
things going on. Much like you said, you have a schedule, you have to balance. Um, and I respect that. And on top of that, I also said I will support and I will show up as much as I can. But as I've gotten older, it's become really hard, and I have very little time to quote unquote support in that regard. Um, my way to support the community as a whole is by hosting this event. I've been called out a few times on not supporting or not going to other people's events, and I'm sorry. I really am. Like Kaylin is doing some amazing things, Derek's doing some amazing things, and I haven't shown up yet. And I love those people. However, I just can't make it out because I have a lot of things going on. But my response to that is that I am supporting. I'm helping feed them students, so that way they can have someone to teach, because I'm bringing in people. This Monday Night Kizomba thing for me, although I only have it once a month, takes up a lot of energy. And you've seen my stuff. You see how far I go. You see
Yeah, absolutely.
so my I would go, and I sometimes I do go, but it's usually because my girlfriend insists on it. I am dead tired, and this is true for everyone else. So we have to be conscious of the fact that we all have our stories, right? We all have our things going on, and we're my lane. It just isn't that. You do a great job of at least showing up for an hour. I don't, and I'm sorry. People that know me know that I love them and I support them, and I'm doing what I can to make sure that they're getting students, that their people know about them. In fact, I'm even running some campaigns for Derek right now, um, but I've never been to his class, right? So that's my approach, and I ask people to be aware of that. Like, we're both doing a lot of work, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna show up where we can, and you are a much better man than I am. um,
Maybe it's just the age difference, you know. Maybe once I get up there with you, I'll be like, oh
dude,
man, I'm tired. I'm tapped out.
I'm about to be 47 in about a month. I'm usually the
Yeah.
oldest dude in the room, right? Um, and when I first started, I'd go to everything. I really would. Like, that was 10 years ago, so it's 37.
Yeah.
But now this thing takes up a ton of energy. And please know that it's not that I don't care about y'all or care, like even yours. I don't think I've been to one of your events. I've
Right.
been to one of your early
No
events.
hard feelings.
Thank you for that,
Right.
right? You could be butthurt and be offended by it, but you know that I got you. You know that I support you and that I do in other ways. So
Absolutely.
I guess that's the.
Even
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
even from like an organizer's perspective, as organizers, we would love to pack out the house all the time, and you touched on it briefly, but like, we understand life happens, things happen. You might be traveling and, you might not be able to make it to every event. You might not even want to show up to the event,
Don't feel guilty.
but we respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
not
I'm not going to shoot you out a message and shame you for not showing up. I might shoot you a message, be like, hey, we
be
missed
concerned.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but that's about it.
Fantastic, brother. Um, so let's move into the future. What do you have going on that the world needs to know about?
Right now we're starting to really ramp things up for Love and Dance Part Two.
Mm.
Um, so part of that is in order to kind of build momentum. We are also thinking about how can we create smaller events that lead up into that will build that momentum and kind of be like the WrestleMania event,
What?
leading.
Is there going to be a belt?
Right, I know. No, exactly. No, we're actually like there's ideas that we're putting together for like a DJ battle and things of that sort.
Mm.
Um,
You're big
my
on that.
main focus right now, huh?
You're big on that.
Yes, I went to Mexico. So I went to Mexico and I got invited to DJ and teach at an event in Mexico City, and it was a phenomenal event. And the lady that was hosting it, Oli, shout out to Oli,
Whoop.
um, she like shot me a message and was like, "Hey, we're gonna put you in this DJ battle. And we're gonna team you up with Art." And I'm like, okay. But it was a phenomenal experience, and I think things like that are really great for the community because it really challenges people to grow in ways that they weren't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me and Art, we ended up taking first place at that event, and
Whoop, whoop. That's
they
awesome.
had some really good, talented DJs there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I still want to kind of bring some of those ideas, maybe alter them a little bit with Love and Dance. But with Love and Dance, my main goal is to create, once again, a platform for people that are up and coming
Mm.
to blossom and showcase their talent. And I want to reward people that are in other communities outside of Dallas, building their communities that might not get as much recognition as they should. I want to provide that platform because at one point in time, I was also that artist, and I still am. And I want to, that's
Yeah.
my way of giving back and giving people an opportunity that I was given. Um,
Love that, brother.
but yeah, for future events, if we can get more community support, that would be great too. Something as simple as if you have a talent, maybe you're good at photography and stuff like that. I think getting people involved, that would be a really great thing.
Mm.
Um, because once we spread out that work by having other people volunteer or help out in some kind of way, you know, that's when we, as a scene, will grow enormously.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of
For
untapped
sure.
talent. So you make a great point. I had Sandy reach out to me about wanting to support and help, and I had already was it was already on my agenda to start finding a few more volunteers. I kind of want to find people to replace me, right?
Hmm.
Um, and the talent is out there. They just need an opportunity. So as it relates to replacement, you need memes. Yeah, Alan. Alan Harris hooks me up with the memes. So half of the memes that come through are through Alan Harris being my meme master.
Hmm.
um, but one of the other places that I realized that we have not nurtured is I need a photographer. So I'll throw this out there. I do all the photography. Well, me and my girlfriend do the photography, the videography, the editing, content creation. But one of the places that I feel we could really nourish some new talent is hosting the event, like handing off a
Hmm.
part of the responsibilities, like even emceeing it. Um, Somebody said to me, "Well, aren't you afraid that they might take over your job or they might start another event?" And I'm like, "Go for it, please do. Please
Yeah,
create another
absolutely.
event." I I want more events, so I'm not trying to lock it down that I'm the only one hosting events because I'm not really trying to do more. I'm kind of lazy bastard that way. Now,
Yep.
I told you this earlier, but I dare them try to do it on Monday because they'll probably lose. But the point
A
is,
little competitive. It's all
I
good.
am competitive. Ah, which reminds me, thank you for that. I know where to go with this next. I am a little competitive. I have an ego. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Yeah.
but it's friendly competition, so which we'll get to in a second. I would like to start handing off duties in the event to people to actually MC it and run it because I also want to take vacations. I can't be here every first Monday. I want to be able to go away and let
Right.
the event still run, and I know that they have the energy, the passion, and they know the stuff that needs to be said and addressed. So that's one of those areas that I hadn't even considered until recently, and I'm excited. And if best case scenario, they actually do go create another event, and oh my goodness, we have a Monday and a Wednesday, or a Monday and a Saturday, and who the fuck knows? But it'll be something amazing, and it'll feed my ego because I helped them get started, because we all need someone to give us an opportunity.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
once those beginners. We were once
Right.
the students in the corner of the room that were hoping somebody would ask us to dance. I don't know about you, but that was me. Um,
We were that beginner organizer. Like most of the time, there was no blueprint for us to like
no,
understand or how to put this together. We just
right.
kind of did it through trial and error.
It screwed it up along the way, but
Yeah.
that's unfortunately that's the best way to learn sometimes, because there wasn't any blueprint out there. Um,
Right.
Anywho, yes, the talent is out there. We If you want to volunteer and you're in the DFW community, reach out to him, reach out to Eddy on that front, and feel free to reach out to me. We have some opportunities, and I'm not afraid to share everything. Like, it's all out there. I just happen to do it well because I am a marketer and this is what I do for a living. But I take pride in helping people grow, especially if it's something that they're interested in already. The photography,
Yeah. For
like
sure.
it's out there, and that's where there's a lot of money to be made as a career. You gather some skills around that, man. Now you can write your own paycheck.
Yep.
Speaking
Exactly.
about speaking about competition, um, so a few months ago, maybe a couple months ago, I saw a post from San Francisco, and and who was it? Hercules. Hercules is like,
Our good old friend
yo,
Hercules.
yeah, yo, I got the best event going on in the country, or something to that effect. I'm probably making some stuff up, so sorry, Hercules, if I'm making it making it worse. But Hercules goes off and says that we got almost 100 people in the house, and we were tagged, or someone tagged us, tagged me, Pamela. Did you get tagged on that too?
uh,
No.
Maybe, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. And someone said, well, I've been to Dallas, and Monday night Kizombas are basically little festivals. I'm like, damn right. Um, but that entire thing got me a little ruffled up. And after that, giving some thought, and then talking to you, we had our regular meetings. It occurred to me, like, you know what I want? I think it's time to ramp it up. We're moving into, I don't know, month 4 or 5 here at this new space. It looks like we're kind of clear of COVID, sorta. People are comfortable coming out. Screw it, let's go big. So I made it a goal to get 100 people to the last one. Hercules, you were the one that motivated me to put that out there, like, and humiliate myself by not accomplishing it. Um, I say that, but the truth is, we had almost 80 people in that house on Monday. 80 people,
Hmm.
right? What was that like, Eddy? You were there.
Oh my God. The energy, it was just it's crazy to see how fast things are rebuilding after COVID. Like I wasn't really here too much prior to COVID to see the growth and everything from that point. But like the work and the energy and the marketing that you do is like magic. I'm like, how does he get so many? And it's like so many new faces,
You
people
said
that
that to
I
me
haven't
last
even
time.
seen.
Yes.
I was like, I'm like, who are all these people? Where did they come from?
It was,
Um,
yeah.
and it's really remarkable to see. And I think to spread that workload is like if everybody can just like invite one other person to an event,
Oh, God.
somebody that isn't a part of the scene,
Yep.
that number will just skyrocket.
Yep.
You know,
It's,
I
it's,
would love to get back to how the scene was and the growth that it was in prior to COVID. Because like right now, it's definitely all rebuilding.
we would be past 100 by now. Um,
Yeah.
if it weren't for COVID, we'd be averaging over 100, period. Like, we were already on that trajectory. We're going to get there probably for the next one. We were at almost 80. I'm on Meetup, I'm on Eventbrite, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Google Listings, I'm everywhere. And that's my approach, is to make sure that I'm everywhere, that people are interested in finding stuff to do and dance events. Um, so shout us out to Hercules. Thank you for inspiring me and motivating me, and really setting off my ego. I try to think that I'm not ego driven, but that's a lie. I'm an egotiator. I have
There's
an
a little
ego.
ego there.
I try to keep it on the down low, but I do take a lot of pride in being in people saying that this is the Mecca of Kizomba, this is the Mecca of UrbanKiz. Kizomba, we can probably that can be disputed, but we're working on that, right? I want to make that
Right.
an absolute truth, and to do that, we need to bring in more people. And we need
For sure.
what we're really missing is not even the people; it's the teachers. We need some more teachers. So, speaking of volunteers, this is a shout to you guys that are in the teaching space or wanting to teach. Just do it. Like I have people eager to take classes like, every single day, and this is another thing that you mentioned to me at our last TikTok. Yes, Kelly, at our last meeting. Um, where are these people going? All
Right.
these new faces every Monday night. Where are they going? And they're like, oh shit, there's a gap there, and I was not funneling them as well as I had thought I was. So I started to change
Right.
my approach. I made sure to do a big shout out on Monday. Um, I did a shout out through the post as well, like go here. I've been doing other things to make sure to cover that gap from Monday to classes. Um,
Right.
but we need more teachers on other days of the week. So if you're out there and you know that you have something of value, my thought process on that has always been if you treat these people good, if your intentions are truly good, I will be happy to funnel some of them over to you and let them
Right.
choose where to go, because that's the reason I'm doing all this, so they can then go to classes. This is part of my master formula.
Right.
Don't worry, Eddie, you don't have to teach. I ain't teaching. Sorry, I got enough on my plate.
Right.
People have
Please.
asked me. I ain't that good,
Please.
anyways. So
I got enough on my plate.
yeah, bro. Any other thoughts you have in mind? Anything that I didn't cover that you may have wanted to cover?
No, we touched on a lot of things, and I think it's, a lot of important things that needed to be said. Oh, one thing.
Go for it.
Um, there was a situation at one of the prior events, and I did want to touch on this.
Okay.
I want people to kind of respect the events that we do kind of put together in the sense of like when there's a time limit on
Oh,
the event.
thank you for bringing this up. Yes.
So it's like if an event starts early and it ends at a certain time, best believe it's going to end at that time. Don't show up to an event an hour before we say it's going to end and be upset that it's ending.
If it's a TV and Eddie event, know this: we're going to shut it down on time.
Fact.
Uh I get teased about that a little bit, and I know that it's not because other organizers will run it past that given time, and I find it to be false advertising and deceiving. And then you're creating this circumstance, this scenario where, so say I'll use my event as an example. If I say we're gonna run it from 7 to 11, oh no, I'm lying. We're gonna run until 2. Um, and people start realizing and picking up on that. People aren't gonna start showing up till like 10, 11, because that's just human psychology. They're gonna wait till it's later when more people show up, and then everybody does that. So from 7 to like 10, it's gonna be almost empty.
Yeah.
And it kind of happens now. 7 to 11, or let's 8 to 11 is the real dancing. So people end up showing up. The majority of the people show up between 8:30 to 9. The more experienced dancers, because they want to make sure the other experienced dancers are there and they want to get their vibe
Right.
on, whatever the hell. So we're training them to know that we're lying, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I like to, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that includes when I would say I'm going to shut it down. So that's number one. Number two is I have agreements with people, with the DJs, with the dancer, with the venue. I have agreements in place. If I'm renting it, especially, I do not want to take 2 or 3 hours past that, because then I am violating the trust that they gave me and what I paid for. Now, if you want to throw an event and you want to be that type of individual that runs it late, and you're cool with the venue hosting it, then go for it. But for me, it's like I don't like to lie, not blatantly lie, and I know it's like a soft lie. It's a lie that we're all in on, a little white lie,
Hmm.
but it's not a lie nonetheless. And then I, who's going to be DJing it? Am I paying them extra?
Right.
Like it's those commitments. So respecting
Yeah.
the times that are in place, and realizing
Yeah.
that we do it for a reason. Like I'm sorry, and I'll say it. You won't. I will, unless you want to piggyback it. Um, if you want to go late, throw your own damn event. Like I got to go to sleep. You see this old man? Like no. So
Yeah.
that's
Because
my
there's things
two
that,
cents on that. Yes.
yeah, there's things that, like, when it comes to events that I've thrown, like a lot of the equipment, it takes like an hour at
Oh
least to
God, there's
either
that.
set it up
Yes.
or tear it down.
Yes.
Like, if it an event's ending at 10 doesn't mean that I'm leaving at 10.
No. Yeah.
And
You're right.
and some people have come up, well, I'll just play the DJ. It's not a matter of like me not wanting to DJ. It's a matter of the fact that I gotta pack up all this equipment, take it home, take it to my house,
Unpack it.
and unpack it there.
Yeah.
And
It's
then wake up the next morning.
and it to circle back around to something that we said earlier, which is this: we're all volunteers. This is not our profession. We do this out of love, and we give this time. We buy this equipment. We put ourselves at risk. Like just driving to and from is a risk. Anything can happen. Like accidents happen. So there's all these little moments that we decisions that we make to then not feel unappreciated. So we've been talking a little bit about all this stuff, right? And I want to make sure to kind of reframe it because the reality is it's only a handful of people that usually end up really kind of rubbing us, right? The wrong way. And the truth is that most people really appreciate what we're doing.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I've that's what I've done. Like I had a couple of people say some shady things to me recently, and I'm like, God. And it took me a few minutes to reframe myself because the truth is there were one of like 100 or 200 people that I
Right.
ran into. Um, so y'all are amazing. Like the community is amazing. They're incredibly supportive. They show up, they show out. They're paying. I do a proud to pay. My event is
Yeah.
free, but I have a donation. I do take donations, um, and when people donate, they donate well. So I know we're bitching and whining a little bit, but at the same time, we do need to make people aware that hey guys, we're volunteers and we're putting a lot on the line for y'all. So for the few that are
Hmm.
kind of tend to be a little whiny themselves, we see
Yeah.
you.
No.
Step up, do something.
But like you said, as things, like, I'm very proud of this scene, especially, and how far it's coming and where it's going. I just see
Mm.
things growing and expanding and just getting better. I see more people moving to Dallas
Oh,
with the we got Manny that just moved to Dallas. We have a few others. I don't want to kind of ruin the surprise
you got all
just
types
yet,
of
but
surprises.
there's a few.
We got Alan
But yeah,
Harris that
this
just moved
scene
from San
is
Diego. Redbeard.
correct.
He's gonna be
Yeah,
teaching
so we
soon.
got a lot of talent that's
Yes.
coming this way. And it's, they're doing it because the dance scene has been a huge influence on their decision making. Did you move to Dallas? Oh, well, you guys got a great dance scene here. We have a reputation on a national scale of being one of the best communities around.
Yep. When I first started, one of the criticisms I received is that it wouldn't be possible because we're too fractured. Every scene is fractured to some extent. Like people are
Hmm.
people. You put 10 people in a room, there are going to be three clicks in that room. It's just the nature of being human. Um, but I knew that if we built something, that I could do my part within my little corner of that community to make sure that we were nurturing something positive. And then more people are coming in and doing the very same thing. We're known for that. We're known for being a dope ass community. We used to, I don't know, I don't see it anymore so much, but people would start recruiting and then they start trying to find them jobs and then it would find them homes like hey there's
Hmm.
opportunities here, you should move to this part of town. And it was really sweet to see the machine move to try to motivate these people to move here, and several people were persuaded to move here, and the future
Hmm.
is very very bright.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good shit, brother. All right,
Yes, man.
that's all I got. That's unless you got anything else. We have still 9 people in this space. What's up? Um,
What's
we have
going
time for
on?
some questions. Do a Q&A session. If you have any questions for us, anything you're curious about, you always wondered uh, about me. Yeah, that's my girlfriend, Mamacita. Yeah, yeah. But feel free to ask us anything while we're here. We'll wait a few more minutes. Yeah, you were. Oh, that's
Yep.
right. I did. Alan Harris said, I was persuaded to move. I did a lot of finagling. I pushed him.
That's right.
Thank you,
That's
Terry.
right.
She said, great conversation. 10 people. Whoop, whoop.
Perfect.
Not
Shout
too
out to
bad.
Tari.
Yes. I got a Tari. Sorry, Tari. This was a good time, brother. Um, we definitely touched on some things that could be a slight bit touchy, but we have to talk about them.
Mhm.
We have to talk about them.
I feel
Um,
like this is definitely good. I feel like this is definitely good. I think what I would like to see is like having this interaction more with the community because like I feel, and this is just like my perception on things, is like I feel like people that are event organizers, we're kind of like the politicians. We're putting together these events based on the needs of the community, the wants of the community. We're doing this for you, so we're looking for
yes,
feedback. So having or having events like this or having discussions like this is hugely important. um, we want to hear what you have to say. Your voice is important to us.
absolutely. Um, it helps set expectations for everyone, right? Like this is what we're doing. Like there's all this work that goes on behind the scenes, and all you see is the event. Now, that's fine. Like you don't need to know what's going on back here, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to be managed and navigated to make sure that when you show up, there's a dance floor, there's music, and there's people there. Um, but sometimes there's things that need to be things that come up that do need to be brought to our attention. Then we share with the community so we can do better. Um, we have one question, but before we get to it, I guess the other thing I wanted to say to you and to the community as a whole is we need to have tough conversations. I think the problem with a lot of people, a lot of in the world is that, and as a community, is we're afraid to have tough conversations, which then leads to this built up resentment. The organizers start resenting the dancers, start resenting the instructors, whatever. Like it's just relationships as well. Um, there was a guy in San Antonio from San Antonio here on Monday that was totally impressed by the whole thing. Like he couldn't believe that we were able to get that many people out on a Monday, right? And then he complimented me on the shoot your shot harassment policy. He said, "Oh my God, this is something that needs to be said, and we've been talking about it, but we haven't been able to figure out how to say it. It's just a tough conversation, but you just came out and said it, and that's the point. Sometimes
Hmm.
you just have to come out and say it. We're all adults, so speaking to it,
Yep,
making it, putting it in such a way that people get it, like, okay, yeah, that this needs to be said, because it's a tough conversation, but it's blatantly a problem that we need to address and get in front of. And this is true for a lot of the
for
things
sure.
that we touched on, right? Um, so let's see here. We have a question from, always have trouble with his name, Jacques Ho, in Denver. It's been challenging getting people from class to attend socials, whereas it seems like you're doing the opposite. How do you make your social so banging that people have fun and want classes? Uh, you have any thoughts on this before I gather mine?
Um, for me, you have to create with a social like excitement, and that can be either a class or like a theme, like Hawaiian shirt night or something. People just want to be a part of something,
Mm,
or like a competition. Like we had some format of a Jack and Jill at one of our
that's right.
socials. You have to be creative and find ways that really don't want to involve money, to make your event exciting. And then once you have the excitement, you have to make sure you capture those people that attended your event and understand where to send them.
Good, good stuff. I would say that it needs to be blatantly obvious how much fun it's going to be, how
Yep.
many people are going to be there. It needs to be well attended. Nobody wants to attend a social that only has 10 or 12 people, 20 people.
Right.
Imagine having 20 people at the new place we're at. That would be, it's like a cave in there. And having 20, even 30
Mm-hmm.
people, it would feel like there's no one there. So
Right.
it has to be absolutely, positively, without a shadow of a doubt, conveyed upon the people that this place, this thing, is going to be so much fun, and you don't want to miss it. What's the point of taking classes if not to go then dance socially outside of the dance studio, and outside of the class context? So that's the way
Mm-hmm.
I do it. I make sure that people know that it's a damn good time. At the end of the day, the reason we do all of this is to have a good time. The
For
reason
sure.
we take these classes is to have a good time and to meet people. That's the other thing. It's a social thing. Um, and for a lot of people, let's not get it twisted. We get into dancing, you said it earlier, to meet someone.
Mm-hmm.
So we can pretend like, oh, it's all about the passion of the dance. Yes, but it's to meet someone, it's to learn a new skill and become more attractive. So if it's conveyed upon them that there's going to be people there and it's going to be a lot of fun, then a good percentage of them will show up. That's
Yep.
my
For sure.
approach to make sure. Like that's I get beginners, I get people that have never been in any classes, or I got people from Swing Out, I believe it's called. We have
Mm-hmm.
people from Oklahoma that drove down. We have people from San Antonio. Had two Germans in the houses last time. We had a Colombian the last
Mm-hmm.
month. He didn't come just for us, but I could say that.
Absolutely.
But he was, the legend has grown about Monday Night Kizomba that it's that much fun that they cannot miss it. And I guess the other part to that to convey it is through your marketing, through your photography,
Yeah,
your
for sure.
videography. If they don't see other people there at a previous event, then it's hard to persuade them.
You got to be consistent in your marketing for sure.
Yeah,
Consistency is key. So the consistency doesn't necessarily mean every day,
correct.
but if you make a post on Tuesday and that's your day that you're making posts, best believe people on Tuesday are going to be looking for your
Yeah.
next post.
You have to be fun. If you are not fun and it's not communicated consistently, people don't want to do anything if it's not fun. What's the point of it all, right? So it has to be really really clear, and the consistency of just fun. Like if you follow my kids passion page, you'll see I'm a big dork. I'm a big I like funny stuff. I like real stuff. My tone and the way I write tends to be more humorous, a little challenging sometimes, but it's that they need to know that like this guy's funny or this brand is funny, and his
Yeah.
events through his photography, like the photos every Monday Night Zumba, people are looking forward to those. So that needs to be conveyed. Another
Yeah.
question, Kelly asked. She said first, thank you for allowing us to be in this space with y'all. It's not always easy to say that difficult stuff. Yeah, it isn't. It's tough. And then she
Yep.
asked, Eddie, what would you say is a good way to be supportive when someone's time is being split between teaching, DJing, and dancing?
You're doing a lot already,
Yeah, I was gonna
Kelly.
say that. I don't know if you can do anything else. That is support. Shit.
That is a huge support. And then to be more supportive on top of that, something as simple as when you're at an event, if you take a live or you do a couple of photos and you tag me in it on my Instagram, on my stories, that's content that I can use to like hype up the event. Something simple as that, goes a long way. Or even just having a conversation with somebody that is new at the social.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure. Just reaching out to new people that are at the event that have no idea and just trying to fit in.
1 second. The beer. So I'm asking people to come on board and be a part of the team. And I have a handful of roles that are a little more specialty. But by far, the most important role that I need is just the welcome team. When people show up, Like they're already like nervous. A lot of people are nervous. That like Carla when she first showed up, she was scared. She'd never been to this. She doesn't know us, and you don't know what to expect. And her experience was through the roof. Because
Mhm.
we have people that are welcoming them, showing them around, introducing them to others. So that could be another approach to your point. It's like making sure that they're seen. Because, and so
Yeah,
I'll tell you this: the reason I created that kind of policy around for those people, that's the biggest task I need. Be there and start shaking people's hands, start introducing them to others, and make sure that you're dancing with the beginners. Look for them,
for
dance with them,
sure.
make sure they get a couple of dances, and then introduce them to someone else. The reason I came up with this is because I had a friend that actually came to Monday night, and like a day or two later, she texted me, and I got lost. I was doing all types of things, and she said, "I'm never coming back." And I was like, "Why? What happened?" And she just said, "Is because nobody asked me to dance. Everybody acted like I wasn't there. They ignored me. I was really, I felt humiliated. Like people just were not even acknowledging me in the room." I'm like, "Crap."
Yeah,
So what you suggested is a fantastic point. Those individuals are actually the glue to the event. So just doing that, making sure that they're seen and that don't act like they're not in the room. And remember, we were them once.
yeah, for sure. And then I know this is a difficult thing. I know sometimes when we're at a social, we get caught up in the moment and we have that good connection dance with somebody. Um, I don't want to say don't have extended long dances with one person, because this is, your free will. You do whatever you
Right? Your
want, but
feelings.
it does help. It does help the scene by, being mindful to the fact that, to try to dance with as many people as you can, especially leads, um, and
Yes.
not always gravitate to the creme de la creme that we have here in
There's
Dallas
a lot.
as
Yeah.
far as follows. Always definitely, if you try to keep a balance, if you dance with 3 or 4 good follows, reach out to somebody that's newer.
That's it. You have a right to not have to do that. You don't owe anybody anything. But if you want to be a part of the group that's actually helping create that culture and community, then make sure that you give time to the beginners in the room and ask them to dance. Go out of your way. Follows as well. Go ask that little awkward dude in the corner that's just you can tell you can see them, you notice them. Like just ask them to dance. Um, if you want to take that role on. If you don't, then absolutely positively you don't owe anybody anything. But it's only if in the scenario that Kelly just suggested as far as helping support, because those are those moments that
Yeah,
people, I have gotten emails and messages saying, "Oh my God, I had so much fun. I didn't expect to have that much fun," and they didn't know what they were doing.
yeah,
But it's about that fun. It doesn't even matter that they don't know what they're doing. It's they felt seen, they
you're right.
felt acknowledged, they traded energy. It's fantastic. So
I do want to give a shout out to somebody, and I don't mean to call them out, but specifically one individual lead that I do know, that, and when he first entered the scene, he was kind of shy. He was like kind of standoffish. He was still learning to dance. But within the last couple of months, this guy Tommy,
oh my God,
he has
yes. Holy
he
shit.
has blossomed. This man is entering competitions, and like when I see him dance with follows, man, he is having a
Good old
blast. And
time.
I'm like,
Yes.
you never know how a person's gonna grow within the community. Now Tommy has become one of our solid leads.
Yep. 100%. And it's beautiful to see because you remember when they weren't that good and when they started showing up, but they keep coming. They keep putting in that work. And you don't
Yep.
know what they're doing when they leave, but they keep coming. And then something happens and pew, and now they're outstanding. I think I have photos
Right.
of that week when something must have clicked internally because his I have photos of him when he was a little like, and then another week came, another month, and I'm like, oh shit, like his comedy, like his expressions were like
He's
just
got the
killer.
swag. You got the blue hair now. I'm like,
Dude
what
is amazing. Thank you for bringing that up.
the heck?
Yes, yes.
Right.
We got to definitely shine light on that. Let me see. Ooh, I forgot I can do this. Let me see. Alan Harris says, for your Kazook events, how do you manage the balance for music, teaching, even when you go to them with the best urban? Oh my goodness. Sorry, hold on. Great conversation, guys. Eddie, for your Kazook events, how do you manage the balance for music, teaching, etc.? Even when I go to them with the best urban hat on, oh, he's a very Kizomba guy, with his best urban hat on, I find the balance can be off one way or the other. So how do you balance it?
Good question. Good question. One of the main ways that we do balance it is we kind of play to the crowd. You know, it's if there's a lot of Kizomba people, then we'll play Kizomba, and if there's a lot of Zouk people, we'll play more Zouk. So my answer to that would be arrive to events early
Hmm.
because it's a lot easier to navigate and kind of create a vibe or feeling based off of the attendance. So if I use, if you come to an event and all of a sudden you're dancing Kizomba and you get to the event at 9 o'clock and we've been playing urban all that time, it's really difficult to just automatically switch the vibe. Um, but yeah, it's a numbers game sometimes, and we do try to balance things out. We even entertained ideas as far as doing like a 4 and 4 situation for Kizomba, for Urban, for Zouk, but it doesn't always work out well.
No.
So a lot of the times we do try our best to find music that suits both. And I just ask the community to kind of keep an open mind, think outside of the box. Remember, you're there also for the community and just being social, and
At a
But we're
social,
doing our
definitely.
best to right. We're doing our best to cater to everybody. It's a challenging thing. To be honest, I haven't found the exact answer behind that, but we're working on it.
I would say that for me, my approach to my event has been that I'm keeping it to Kizomba and UrbanKiz and a couple of the other subgenres under that umbrella. Um, because within that, there's enough of a struggle to even balance that out, right? So then having to add the zouk to it, the Brazilian zouk, now that is a whole nother group and category that you have to manage. So it's challenging, and I can only imagine how challenging it could be. Because even for my events, it's like, oh, we didn't play enough kizomba, or we didn't play enough urban, or um, but definitely managing depending on who's in the room is something that I pay attention to. Whoever shows up, like who what's their preference. But I will say for our community, as far as balancing those two, the urban and the kizomba, um, our people really love both. Uh, like Alan actually pointed out, like when kizomba comes on, there's not many people that leave. Like in some places, they abandon
Right,
the dance floor because I think our people really enjoy the music and vibe off of it and just add their own swag to it, and it's still danceable.
right.
And on top of it, there's only 3 hours of dancing, so you better get it in whatever style is being played, or else you're gonna have to wait another hour. So there's that. Let's be real. Um, Let me see here. Jack Kelly, is there a way to set up a boundary around the DJ booth? No, not a at Aldi's. It's already in a boundary. Like outside of putting them inside a damn gate. Um, No, people just need to be aware, and I've told my DJs to ask them to not come up there. I have a sign, and that's just it's on people. Like at the end of the day, respecting that and understanding, like there's that possibility that something can happen. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's already up elevated. Like they're going out of their way to go go up there.
Yeah, for my events, I need to do better at creating those boundaries myself. That was a learning lesson for myself when that event did happen where things got unplugged. It was just something that I wasn't thinking about at that specific moment.
Mm,
So now that I've learned that lesson, you better believe
yeah,
next event that I do have, everybody's going to be in a certain area.
yeah. I've at the old Aldi's, I don't know if you remember, I would make it a point, and also for two reasons. Like that corner, as you come around to the DJ, I kind of sequestered it and asked no one to sit there, and I made equipment over there, put equipment. The reason I did that was twofold. One is to discourage people from going to the DJ, and jumping in there, and two, to discourage clicks, um, clicky like behavior, because that corner allows people to sit in that corner and then congregate, and then they're not with the masses.
Hmm.
So it was me trying to use what I had in hand, like put tables there, and I try to do everything I could to discourage those two behaviors because I find them really discouraging. And then on top of that, the risk involved.
Right.
Um, Abby said, "Love that, being a great host to others, even if you're not the actual host." Yeah, just remember you used to be a beginner and you walked in and you were scared to death, didn't know anyone in the room or knew very few. So just look for them, be kind to them, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there it is. Alan said, if you're looking to support dancing, dancing with everyone is a great way. It's a simple little way that you can support the community. So 'cause they're gonna come back. They're like, oh my god, they had so many friendly people in the room. I had a friend that showed up a couple weeks ago, or the last one. He's like, everyone's so nice. They're so patient. They're so friendly. I'm like, I know. We're pretty damn awesome. I know.
Alan, shout out to Alan, that Afro house that you jumped out on there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I
That
got
was really
video.
good.
We're
I
gonna
was
post
I was
that later.
enjoying it.
Yeah. Man, he gets hyped up. You didn't see him when it came on. He was in the
He
corner like,
was out there, bro. I was like, all right, Alan, all right, check
my
you
boy
out.
gets down, man. Don't let the complexion fool you. My boy can get it. Dana, who did Jack and Jill? Uh, I'm not sure what that question is asking.
We had a Kids Zook event where we had some out of town
Okay.
artists. We did a competition for both Kids and Zook. It wasn't necessarily Jack and Jill format, but it was similar. I think we teamed up with Evelyn. She had hosted a Zook event. There were some people from, I think, Portugal, and then as well as Phil and Andrea. It was that weekend. So we ended up having a competition, and we ended up giving a couple tickets away for Love and Dance for the people that won. Uh, so yeah, it was great.
I love what you do there with your event. Is you're real creative when it comes to promoting and creating little other events and competitions to encourage people to dance. Um, you're trying, man. I love the creativity. That's one thing I've noticed from the beginning when you started really pushing, that you're
Mhm.
not afraid to try new things. So shouts out to you on that one. Much love. Um, Kelly said, "Yes, I love dancing with Tommy. He's a beast." Uh, what else you got? I personally love the music that fits both as a bass with what is played. Ghetto Zook has a great overlap for both scenes. Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
Who is the corner giving? Who's in the corner giving? I'm a better Afro follower. Need more people to help lead the animation because I got 3.5 moves. He's like, I'm out. That's it. That's all I got. I just exhausted my half. What happened to the other half, bro? You could at least finish that move. That's it.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone that's still on the call. I really appreciate you. Um, if you have anything else to say, feel free now or forever hold your peace. No?
No, I'm all set.
I appreciate you, Eddie, man. This is a great conversation. Definitely, we said some things. We shared the love and the vision. If all things go well for me, maybe I throw a weekender, but no, no, it won't be. It can't be by the end of the year. It's almost damn near September. Um,
I feel like you could do it, man. I feel like you could
no,
do
I could, but
it.
yeah, there's already so many things going on in the holidays. I actually started a. I remember we talked about it, but I do expect to do something a slight bit bigger. I will not do a festival unless I have like 100 people on the team and I just do marketing and they run it. But I do intend to continue to push and grow. You will see more stuff from me. Keep coming out to Monday night, guys. Everyone eats, everyone benefits from it, and it's I I it's my goal to make sure it's an experience that you will walk away fulfilled and refilled with energy and love. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eddie, for your support, the DJing, the presence.
Thank you,
You guys
man. Appreciate you so much.
means a lot. You can do it without you guys. I do what I can, but I absolutely need all of you. Everyone here, Kelly, uh, Tari, Alan. There was a handful. I need you, and y'all show up. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. We're going to make this the absolute, positively only place to get the best dancing in the country. Sorry, San Fran.
Ree's the boss, and she's also part organizer in the Love and Dance, so don't let her talk you out of that.
Oh, okay. Bye, Cindy. Cindy says she admires us both. From an organizer, event organizer kind of person, we appreciate you. Thank you. That's it, guys. Have a
Yep.
great day. Talk soon. Look forward to seeing y'all somewhere. Bye,
Yep.
boy.
Bye.